having worked outside for the last 12 to 13 years, it was an amazing experience. I learned a lot, from the grass till where I attained a level of being an assistant manager in one of the big corporates, and that too in Delhi as an assistant manager in HSBC Bank. So my journey was a tough one. I had to face nepotism, I had to face favoritism in these industries as well, being in the mainland India. And one of the reasons why I took a plunge is, whenever I come back home to Shillong, I used to meet my fellow friends, my colleagues, I see my neighbors, I see my own cousins. They're striving for a job, and it's very difficult. It was then when I had the intention to come back home to help the youth sustain. And one of the potential that I've been seeing was the tourism industry. I thought that I could help in certain section of the tourism industry to, so that our youth become entrepreneurs at the same time. So in my journey, having come back in December 2012, so yes, I've been able to touch a few lives of the youth, but I realized as the years went by that it was only the political arena that could touch the masses. In a span of 4 to 5 years, I'm able to help just a few youths, but with the increase of educated youth in the state and the increase of unemployment in the state, that's what made me decide that I need to be in the political arena where we can showcase our talents. We can guide them in many aspects, in many fields, where they should not just depend on government jobs, but they have to look at other industries as well. I've come from such a background. I know that we can multiply a lot in other sections as well. Northeast has been known for its fluent English. These are the industries where everyone is not looking into it. Just a few days back, I met one person who had tried to coordinate to bring one of the Fortune 500 companies. I will not name the industry, but it's one of the Fortune 500 companies. And I was surprised and amazed that when he approached a few of the teams here in Shillong, they denied. So what an opportunity had it been if a Fortune 500 company would have come to our state. It would have been a blessing, not just for one or two, but for the youth as a whole. So these are the things that we need. Whatever we have learned in mainland India, we need to bring them here as well, so that we can develop as a state. We should not be lacking behind. As a state, we have moved 50 years ahead, but then it's a sorry state of affairs that we still lack in basic amenities in many ways. One of my agendas, it's a very sorry state of affairs to say. You know, First and foremost, I think I would bring back the prestigious stack of our constituency, which has been lost. We have we do not have basic amenities till date in our constituency. Like, we don't have water, we don't have proper roads, we don't have proper lighting in some localities. These are the main basic amenities that we will look into it. When I say we will look, it means collectively, not individually, or not just the local headman or the rangbadong of the area. Collectively, as a team, we will involve as many people as we can to work. Now, how are we going to do this? Is every one of us knows that each and every MLA of the state gets about 2.5 crore a year. So this money is a public money. We need to invest it properly. By investing, we mean we will upgrade, we will uplift, we will develop the society, we will have proper infrastructure. Infrastructure, like I mean, we will try and create, we will have good roads, because as far as I can remember, from the time I was born till date, I've never doesn't recall me in my mind that the Laban roads or the constituency roads being furnished with new roads. It's just been powdered from time to time as and when required. So we need to have a new carpet in the society. We need to look at footpaths as well. Because when I was doing a door-to-door campaigning, I met one of the person who was married to our constituency, a female from our constituency. He said, you should look at my constituency. There's so much development. The roads are good. The footpaths are good. He said, you should learn. You should take his constituency as a role model. I felt like an insult and a shame as well at the same time, which I told him upfront that yes, I feel bad, I feel ashamed. I said, once we are elected, we will definitely look into these small things, because sometimes it is these small things that matters a lot as well. Yeah. Another thing that we would want to bring in the locality is to upgrade the education system. By upgrading the education system, I do not mean by changing the policies, however, but by bringing not even infrastructure, but the quality of education. I'm not saying that the quality of education is bad in my locality. However, we believe, and I believe that everyone would strongly agree with me as well, that the schools that are there outside our area, we have to name it, like from in the schools that are in Laimukra and the schools that are in Laban, they are not up to the same mark. You know, the students that are there in away from the locality, they might have a superior complexity and an inferior complexity with reference to the student from the locality. So we need to bring that barrier. We need to bring that barrier down, or we need to equalize that barrier. How are we going to do this? By investing in the quality of education, getting the teachers trained in different aspects. So with this, we will need to work hand in hand with the management committee of the school as well with the local Dorbarsnong to enhance such kind of prospects for the locality. Now another thing is this that we want to bring is to have the teachers as well to be counselors at the same time, because we all know, and this is a subject that we are not talking about, we are fighting against drugs. We all know the rampant rise of drugs in each and every locality. So that's the reason why we need to mold the children from the time they are in school. We need to explain to them the ill effect of drugs. I believe that each and every parent would want a sound and peaceful sleep at home at night. Not a deadly sleep where you have to keep hunting down for your loved one, especially your child. So this is the thing that we need to bring in the system by converting our teachers as well into counselors. Now, not only this, now how do we make a child's life stay away from drugs at the same time? We need to invest proper sports complex where we have trainers, not just an empty building. With an empty building, we can't do anything much, but we need to have a proper plan for the youth as well after school, so that they divert or they indulge themselves in sports activities. I believe the parents would totally agree with me as well that technology has taken over our children as well. The moment we reach home, we are into computer games or mobile games, or we are glued to the box, which is the TV. So we need to change that. When we were young, I remember we don't even have time. The moment we come home, we throw our bags without taking our uniforms off, we go in the ground and play. We have shortage of grounds. So we need to create recreational activities for the younger generation, being health conscious as well at the same time. Now for our friends who don't have much for education, who have dropped out from schools, for them we have something for you as well, where we create skill development centers, because we believe that each and every individual has a skill set, has some potential within him or her. So we will provide a skill development facility where the youth can come and train free of cost, whichever skill he or she likes, because that will help in his career building. Once he or she finishes the course, certify them that they have completed this skill set and they can look for jobs, because looking for job without any experience or without any certificate is very difficult. So this will be just like a small step in helping them look out for a job as well. We appeal as well to young mothers as well, We have been around the locality. I've seen that many young mothers aged 18, 19, 20 years, they're just sitting at home with 3 to 4 kids. It's an appeal from my end. I urge them that if I'm elected, if we have such kind of skill development centers, to kindly come and take these courses, which are free of cost. This will help you, sustain your livelihood as well, to help your better half to earn as well, right? And at the same time, we would like to bring different kind of schemes like financial assistance to sports person, where we have seen that there have been instances that I'm aware of, where there are sports person who wanted to represent the state, but they are not able to do so because they don't even have just a meager amount of 2000 rupees for a train ticket to go. And another thing that we want, which I wanted to bring to your attention, like I spoke earlier as well in Khasi language, is that there are many companies that have come and set up the businesses in Meghalaya. However, the salary slab that they are giving here, they are not considering it very high. We are tagged in a tier 3 city, but the message needs to go to these companies that the cost of living, yes, some of us might have our own homes here in our own home ground, but then they need to know that the cost of living here is very high as compared to metro cities. Cost of living, the cost of commodities is very high. You can compare that just with our neighboring state, Guwahati as well, where vegetables are very cheap, other commodities are cheap. Yeah, so they need to understand. So we need to bring in such kind of policies where our youth as well are not exploited by these companies. Because if you're working on the same job profile as other state, the salary is that we need to have a reservation for the youth of Meghalaya. Because what I've seen when I visit these institutes is that our youth are mere as a photocopier boy or a sweeper or a cleaner in such institutes, whereas the desk jobs or the white collar jobs mostly have been taken up by youth from other states. I'm not against the youth from other states working here, but then I believe that we should have a certain sets of regulation as well, so that our youth here do not go unemployed. We have many deserving candidates, deserving youth who are educated from degrees to masters to PhD holders. I believe that they deserve a fair chance as well. Because working in any industry, you need to undergo a training first for a period of 3 to 6 months. So my question is to these companies, why don't you hire them and give them a training for a period of 3 to 6 months? We all know that there's a probation period of 6 months. Give them a chance. Let them have a white collar job as well. See, ideology is very simple. Like, we are fighting to bring a clean governance and we are fighting against corruption. So, for me as a candidate without much assets, like you had stated, I do not fear from other political parties who have such kind of massive assets to exploit the minds of the voters, because we have just one thing to say to the voters. Personally, I walk in a straight line. There is no other line for me. I do not have another parallel line as well. Neither do I have a left right roads. Being a straight person and having a clean heart with one vision for the state that we need to improve on, and as a vision of the party states to revive, to reform, and to transform. So, with these three vision that we have, and having a very clear head of what we want as leaders, I'll stress again, what we want as leaders is for the future of the generations to come. The mandate of the people should be very clear what they want for the future. They should think for the future, not of the present, not just for 5 years or 10 years, but the future, what lies ahead beyond 15, 20, 30 years ahead. Because one day, the young voters as well will be an adult, you'll be parents. So you have to justify to your children as well, what have you done when you were young, when you elected representatives. To all the young voters and the first time voters, I believe since uh, you have turned 18, you are an adult, and I will not take much time to explain. Because since you have already got the tag of an adult from the government of India and being able to vote, you should vote sensibly. Yeah. You should think of what you want for your future, like I had said, because there will be a time when you will be parents as well. So you need to deliberate within yourself what kind of leaders you're looking for. Are you looking for a leader just for 5 years, or are you looking for a leader who will think for for your future and for the future of your generation, for the generations to come? So think sensibly with a right head. That is my message to you. I will not force or I will not put anything into your head since you are an adult now. Yeah. And to the women of our locality, again, it's the same thing. You have to think for the future of your children, your grandchildren. The time has come. I mean, it's already there. The tendency is already there where each and every family, uh, from each household, out of 10 households, 2 to 3 families, they're sending their children, or they are forced to send the children out of the state to look for jobs. So if you don't want this apocalypse to come to your house, to your siblings, you know, to the future generations to come, this is the time to make the right decision by voting the right leaders. And I think you know which party is the best for you.
Revolution Meghalaya.